No, I would have looked at it as being extremely disappointed because I had a dream and I had goals that I wanted to accomplish. Extremely curious. I had a great teacher in high school. Her name is Jane Mastriano, who I'm still very close to. And she sparked my curiosity in writing. And the reason why I felt it was important at the time was not for the writing's sake, or not for storytelling purposes, but there are things in story, inherently in story, that can help me be a better basketball player, be a better teammate, a better leader, understand emotions better. So that's why I got into storytelling actually. So it's just insanely curious, man. And trivial things weren't gonna pull my attention. It had to be things weren't gonna pull my attention. It had to be things that I had a purpose. I wanted to be one of the best basketball players to ever play. And anything else that was outside of that lane, I didn't have time for. The love of the game, the challenge. Like I would watch Magic play, I'd watch Michael play, and I would see them do these unbelievable things, and I'd say, can I get to that level? I don't know, but let's find out. And so that curiosity to see where I could push this thing led me down that path, I think.
When you're on your way to becoming truly successful, there's one thing that's going to keep you from being successful and not being successful, and that is giving up. If you decide to give up, that's when everything you've worked for becomes an absolute waste of your time and anybody else who decided to help you along the way. Giving up is just a huge slap in the face to you and your peers who truly believed in you and wanted you to succeed in your dreams, yet you just decided not to. Now, there is a difference between giving up and failing. Failing is accepted and expected. When you fail, it's gonna suck and it's gonna hurt, no question about it, and you're gonna wish you didn't fail. However, once you bring yourself back from a failure, you're gonna feel incredible and more motivated than ever because you're doing something that a lot of people don't even consider trying. Usually when they fail, they give up, but yet you're that different breed. You are built different. Because you are aware that there's so many different ways to improve yourself day in and day out, and you're willing to challenge yourself to grow and learn from everyday actions, in which will truly make the difference between being successful and not being successful. You want to do everything that you can to grow and learn each and every single day and improve upon what you've already done day in and day out. It doesn't have to be these monstrous changes throughout your life, but just little changes here and there day in and day out, and that's going to make the difference between being good and being the best.
I played to figure things out. I played to learn something, right? Because I think if you play with a fear of failure, or you play with the will to win, or that supersedes the fear of failure, I think it's a weakness either way, right? Because if you play with the fear of failing, you'll have the pressure on yourself to play, to capitulate to that fear. If you play with the sense of I want to win, then you have the fear of what happens if you don't. But if you find common ground in the middle, in the center, then it doesn't matter. You're unfazed by either, right? And that enables you to really just stay in the moment, stay connected to it, and not feel anything other than what's in front of you. So I try to just be dead center. It doesn't exist. It's not existent. What the hell does that mean? Seriously, what does failure mean? It doesn't exist. It's a figment of your imagination. What does it mean? I'm trying to think, how can I explain it? So let's use happy endings, right? And then we can relate this to failure, why it's not existent. Everybody talks about, everybody wants a happy ending, right? Now let's go to the reality of it, right? Let's look at a fairy tale story. Let's look at Snow White. She gets a happy ending, she finds Prince, whatever, she goes on, she lives happily ever after. Because 2 months later, the fact is they had an argument and he's sleeping on the couch, right? And so the point is, the story continues. The story continues. So if you fail on Monday, the only way it's a failure on Monday is if you decide to not progress from that, right? So to me, that's why failure is not existent. Because, if I fail today, okay, I'm gonna learn something from that failure and I'm gonna try again on Tuesday. And I fail, I'm gonna try again on Wednesday. So I think stories is what moves the world. Whether it's an inspirational story, it's an informational one. Nothing in this world moves without story. From the political world, sports world, nothing that we have moves without story. And so I think that is the root of everything. And if we're going to try to make the world a better place, story is the right place to start.
I agree.
But most people don't understand. My last year, people would come up to me and say, "Okay, what are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to be a storyteller." And they go, "And so what are you really going to do?" Yeah, what's going to happen when you retire is you're going to go through a week of depression. And then the second week is going to be denial and all something. Right. I'm like, dude, seriously, I'm good. So after a while, I just got sick of it, and I just said, I don't know. I'll go play golf or something. Overall, the idea is a very simple one, and the Mamba mentality simply means trying to be the best version of yourself. That's what the mentality means. It means every day you're trying to become better. And it's a constant quest. It's an infinite quest. So starting at the age of 2, when I first started playing the game, and on and on and on, I always asked questions. I always tried to get better every single day, learn more. Oh, dude, I was asking questions all the time. I mean, you'd be surprised. Like some people, like my kids at 2 could do a lot of things. Right? At 2, I could dribble a basketball. I could shoot a basketball on the Nerf hoop at the house. And I would go to practice with my father. I would observe my father. I'd sit and watch games with him. Yeah, man, I guess you could say that. You know, a lot of things I learned by being around the game. Right? So by the age of 6, I was already strategizing versus other 6-year-olds. At the age of 6, I figured out 6-year-olds couldn't dribble with their left hand.
Thank you all so much for watching the video. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let us know what you thought down in the comments section below.